In today's video, we are going to remember how to make videos. Why? Because I make it like that. I need to fix this table. It's wobbly. Okay, cardboard? That's better. All right, we're in a new space. Whoa! Okay, it is a bit of a work in progress. I hope you don't mind as I kind of take my time and just kind of set things up the way that I want to set things up so that we can actually get some work done. I'm also donning some Blue Jays because tonight, as at the time that I'm filming this, tonight is Game 7, so I'm pretty amped about that. But I've got to do something to get my mind off of the stress levels of Game 7. By the time you're watching this, they've already won or lost, but I have no way of knowing which one it is, so I'm just going to insert my reaction here. Wow, that was a horrible outcome. So one thing that I'm not gonna do is I'm not going to apologize for how long it's been since I've made a video. I'm not going to explain why it's been so long since I've made a video. I'm not gonna promise that I'm gonna start building a new layout, and I'm not gonna explain to you anything because I feel like that's all my videos are about these days. Because every time I'm like, hey, it's been a while, what's up? We're gonna make a video now. Everyone is like, okay, cool, this is gonna be awesome. And then I'm like, hey, sorry about taking so long making videos. Don't forget, I'm gonna make a layout soon and it's gonna be fantastic. And then I never do because life happens. And then the vicious cycle continues. So what I am going to do is I'm going to say, I'm not sorry that it took so long to make a video. I am in a new space, but who cares? I might build a new layout and that'll be fun. And if I don't, well then oh well. But you know what we are gonna do is we are gonna do some model train graffiti, because guess what? They make it like that. At least I have my stoplight, right? So as you guys know, I've taken a bit of a break, okay? I mentioned that in my last video, which again was months ago. And I was explaining to you that I had a bunch of stuff going on, had a bunch of things going on, and also had a bunch of stuff and things going on. So we're gonna start off small because it's been a while since I've done graffiti. I've done a little bit here and there to keep up with some orders and whatnot, but I do know and I'm fully aware that I have people waiting for their cars and I'm going to do those cars. But I want to ease myself back in because I have to remember how to do this, you know, because it's all of my stuff has been in storage. I wasn't sure where I was gonna be, where I was gonna live, where my stuff was gonna be set up, and now I finally have things where things are starting to figure. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. All right. It's gonna be fine. I have this car. I'm gonna paint it, and then it's gonna be for sale on my Etsy store. And if you live in Canada, that's great. If you live in the States, I don't know what's gonna happen because I don't want to get into that right now. But apparently, there's some form of financial garbage that's going on between Canada and the US right now. But again, we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to paint trains. Everything is okay. I'm not having a mental breakdown on camera right now. I'm having a fun time. This is a fun, relaxing hobby. Let's go! So I'm going to start with taping off the road name. I will go in and darken the pencil line afterwards just so it's easier to see when I get to the next step. But I always start with a pencil outline, just so I know what I'm working with. Now, I used to do live streams every month, and those were a lot of fun. However, in this new chapter, I don't foresee that happening. For one, my schedule doesn't really allow for Thursday nights. However, we can still have some fun. We can make some videos. We can have a lot of fun. It's fall. Train show season is upon us. It's a bit of a winter hobby anyway, so, I mean, I'm sure there's people in the hobby that just don't even think about trains during the summer. I used to be one of those, but then the whole YouTube and graffiti stuff just kind of took off and I was doing it year round. Not so much this year, but definitely over the years I've done it year round, you know? There we go. That's a pencil outline if I ever did saw one. Just do a quick pen outline. So for paint, I just put a bit of tape down on my desk and then put a blob of paint there. Is this still paint? Oh, it is. Look at that. It's still paint. Oh, look at that. I still have paintbrushes. Are they hard as rock? Probably. Am I gonna use them still? Absolutely. I think this artist chose to paint above the reflective tape. That's the other thing. When you're doing graffiti on lots of different train cars, it makes sense to just switch up your style every once in a while. Switch up your style, switch up how many cars get graffiti or how much graffiti on each car, that kind of a thing, because you're not just one graffiti artist when you're doing it in model railroad world. You're actually every graffiti artist. That being said, some of my lines on my M go below the reflective tape line, but we're just gonna pretend that I planned to stay above the reflective tape line at the very beginning of this piece, because I'm sure you know by now I make it up as I go. I mean, this 1 year long hiatus wasn't planned. I promise you that. And then I'm just gonna hit it with my, like a stipply effect, just to even out the brush strokes. So that's the last thing you want, is brush strokes when you're doing this kind of a thing, because an HO scale person is not gonna be using a giant paintbrush to do graffiti. They're gonna be using spray cans, so you wanna make it look authentic because they make it like that. So I have given the white paint a bit of time to dry, and now we're gonna go back in with a bit of yellow. You know, that's looking a little bit more like something, right? And I'll do the same thing with orange. Go just across the bottom, just across the bottom. That's the sound you have to make. We'll fade it up into the yellow just ever so slightly. But not too much, right? There, that's a bit of a fade. You see that? It's a bit of a fade going on. I've learned to absolutely love paint markers. I was intimidated by them at first, but now that I've used them, they're kind of my friend. That being said, they can also completely destroy your work in a matter of seconds if they explode. But we're gonna make sure that doesn't happen. And the trick too is to never push on the paint marker while you're on your car. Push on it on a scrap somewhere, because that will destroy everything. Because that's where all the ink just comes flying out. Or I guess in this case paint. Paint just comes flying out. Get some shoe booties on there. Once the paint is dry, you can come back in with a marker or a paint marker. I'm going to use a paint marker for this. And I'm going to do my line work. This is where you really want the lines to be smooth. You don't want to make them kind of sketchy. Go ahead and add some highlights in here. And then the final piece of the puzzle is, of course, doing some scribbles. Gotta have some scribbles. That just seals the deal, you know? Like, come on, that just takes it from this to this. So honestly, after taking a bunch of time off, not really doing any videos for quite some time, I feel like that's a pretty good jump back into things. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm gonna peel off the tape after I weather it, so you'll see it then. I will probably make a part 2 to this video, but I'm not gonna make any promises, because as soon as you make promises, I'm sure you're aware of this with my track record, as soon as you make promises about a video, that's when your life blows up and you just have no idea what's gonna happen next. You have no idea where your stuff is gonna go, where you're gonna set up shop, where your They Make It Like That headquarters are gonna be. But I'm back, baby. We're gonna do some train stuff. I got some N scale coming your way. I got some O scale coming your way. I got some 3D printed products coming your way. But until then, make sure you check out this video, and remember, they make it like that. I'm gonna stay over here to make sure that there's room for the video to just be right here, you know?